Yeah, sandpaper's getting thinner now.
Let's call to order the regular meeting of November 17th, 2014. Provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law.
Pursuant to the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law, adequate public notice of this meeting has been given. By publication in the required newspapers of the date, time, and location of this meeting more than 48 hours in advance. By posting advance written notice on the official bulletin board in the municipal building. By filing advance written notice with the township clerk for the purpose of public inspection.
Roll call of officials present, please.
Committeewoman Taylor. Committeeman Billy.
Here.
Committeeman Moreno.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Lucella.
Here.
Mayor McKee.
Here. Can we have the invocation by Reverend Hall, please? Good evening, Reverend.
Let's join in the invocation. God, in this season of Thanksgiving, we indeed are thankful for all the blessings that we have received, for the community of which we are a part, and of the work that we have to do to make Barnegat the best it can be. Bless these efforts, bless our public servants, bless our community of friends and neighbors this day and forever. Amen.
If you could all rise to salute the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Resolution 2014-441.
Resolution authorizing the Township Committee to retire into closed session for the purpose of discussing personnel, public safety, contractual, and litigation matters.
None needed tonight, Mayor.
All right, motion to table resolution.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy.
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lucella.
Yes.
Mayor McKee.
Yes. All right, we'll move on to reports. I'll begin. I want to first address the most recent municipal election. First and foremost, I want to wish my hearty congratulations to Deputy Mayor Marty LaSala and incumbent John Novak on their election victory. No question their victory was a mandate to move the township forward with regards to commercial development, recreation, and public safety. I know that Deputy Mayor LaSala and Mr. Novak will work hard on behalf of the town and will do an outstanding job representing the residents of Barnegat. I'm looking forward to working with both Deputy Mayor LaSala and Mr. Novak, along with the rest of the Township Committee in 2015. Also, I wish to acknowledge the efforts of longtime sitting committee member Lenny Morano and incumbent attempt Carrie Giona with their campaign. Lenny will complete his 18th year on the committee this year, and I invite everyone to our December meeting, in which we will recognize Lenny's contributions to Barnegat and his dedication to public service. Thank you, Lenny. Let's talk about recreation. At the last Township Committee meeting, if you were here, there was much discussion concerning the state of recreation in Barnegat. This discussion was a byproduct of the successes realized with the installation of the Lower Shore Road turf field by volunteers who were led by Mr. Steve Cotton. This field is a source of pride for Barnegat and clearly demonstrates what can be accomplished when there is a meaningful partnership between the township and the community. Many leaders of Barnegat recreation organizations spoke that night in support of the expanding the footprint of recreation here in Barnegat to accommodate the growing demand. There also appeared to be a consensus on the Township Committee that night to advance the recreation agenda forward. In response, a subcommittee actually, was made to meet individually with the numerous recreation groups to determine their needs so that a comprehensive recreation plan could be developed by the township. I am happy to report that we had an opportunity to meet with a couple of recreation organizations, and those meetings were productive, with starting the process of establishing a scope of work necessary to properly address the outstanding recreation needs of Barnegat. Between now and the end of the year, Township Committee members, along with the administrator, will meet with the balance of the recreation clubs in Barnegat so that we can complete the information gathering process of this project. Personally, I was impressed and encouraged by the dedication of the volunteers who are committed to their respective recreation or sport leagues, and I feel strongly that they are deserving of quality recreational fields. With the support of the committee and the recreation community, I am hopeful that the township can announce a plan and enabling funding mechanisms during the first quarter of 2015. While an ambitious schedule, recreation improvements are long overdue, and we owe it to the many dedicated volunteers, parents, coaches, and children who will benefit from having superior recreational facilities to move quickly on this matter. The time has come in Barnegat to become serious about recreation, and we as a community must harness the positive energy and momentum realized from the work at Lower Shore Road to develop recreation, athletic and sporting facilities, and other institutions capable of properly and safely handling the needs of a growing town. I would like to wish you all a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. And now we'll move on to committee reports. Committeeman Morano, would you like to begin?
Sure, thank you. First, I'd like to congratulate Marty and John and hope they do what they have to do for the people. And I'd like to thank all my supporters that came out and helped me and got me through what I had to get through. And you haven't seen the end of me yet, so it's a little rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeeman Billy, would you like to continue?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Is that working? Yes. Take it here, take it here. Congratulations.
She says, you haven't seen the end of
There
it.
you go. Sorry.
Look, people don't want to.
First
Say, you know, you see the end
of all,
it.
congratulations to Marty
You don't want
Lasella and John Novak on the election victory. No doubt the voters of Barnegat support elected officials that encourage smart growth, including commercial development, ample recreation opportunities, along with strong public safety operation. Having a clean and safe community enhances our property values along with maintaining a high quality of life. I am confident that both Marty and John will work tirelessly on behalf of the residents of Barnegat. Also, I'd like to acknowledge both Lenny Morano and Carrie Deanna for their campaign efforts. With 18 years of service to the township, I would like to thank Lenny for his long tenure on the township committee and wish him and Carrie the best. Thank you. Thank you. With the election over, we can now devote all our energy and attention to the betterment of Barnegat. In 2015 will be an exciting year for this community as we will continue to work together to improve the overall quality of life in Barnegat. Recreation enhancements, economic development opportunities, and a meaningful relationship with other government entities make for endless possibilities for 2015. I am looking forward to working with the other members of this committee, along with the community in general, so I strongly feel it can be a productive and beneficial year for Barnegat. Hoping everyone has a great and happy Thanksgiving. Please enjoy the time with your family and friends. God bless and thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor LaSalle.
Thank you, Mayor. Now that the election is over, I would like to commend all who participated in the process. Campaigning is not easy, and I would like to thank my running mate, John Novak, for all his support, and I look forward to working with him on the next committee year. Also, I would like to recognize Lenny and Carrie for their civil campaign, as we all have the best interest of Barnegat at heart, regardless of political affiliations. I would like to acknowledge the hard work of our campaign manager, Al Billy. His campaign skills led to a mandate election in which the voters spoke loud and clear they want a clean, attractive, safe community with recreation opportunities, appropriate commercial development, and enhanced public safety. On the agenda this evening for the first reading is a land use ordinance that will allow a mixed use of development to be constructed on State Route 9 just north of Georgetown Shopping Center. This development will consist of over 33,000 square feet of commercial space, along with 180 luxury apartments that will have a clubhouse, swimming pool as their amenities. Also, to prevent any misinformation from being spread, there are some additional facts regarding the project. These apartments will not be age restricted, but they will all be 2-bedroom apartments, and there will be no affordable housing units in the development. All apartments will be market rate units. Edgewater Properties is the developer for this project. With corporate headquarters in New Jersey, Edgewood Properties has a proven track record of success as it manages over 3 million square feet of commercial space. It's coming. Along with hundreds of residential units in New Jersey, Florida, and California. Yesterday, there was an article in the Atlantic City Press which described the challenges certain Pinelands growth communities in Atlantic County were experiencing with attracting commercial projects to their respective townships. In order to attract business, these communities were offering a financial incentive, which is code for tax abatement and other concessions and givebacks. While these financial incentives are a powerful economic development tool used by municipalities, they often delay and diminish the financial benefits of commercial ratables. To date, Barnegat has not offered these financial incentives to commercial developers. Instead, Barnegat has elected to utilize the mixed-use development approach to attracting businesses to town, which has proven to be successful. By allowing both commercial and residential development, the developer is able to secure financing and move the project forward quickly without adversely impacting the financial well-being of the community. Based on the information from Edgewater, they are anticipating to go before the Barnegat Planning Board early in 2015 and has pledged to move this project ahead in a prompt fashion. They fully appreciate and understand the need for additional business development in Barnegat and have committed to work diligently on this beneficial Route 9 mixed-use project. At this time, I would like to wish all of you a happy and healthy Thanksgiving, and I thank you also for your support for re-electing me. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Lasana. If we could have the administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I have one report this evening before we get to the agenda items. My one report deals with Channel 22, which is the, can you hear me? Which is the local government access channel. As a result of the Comcast franchise agreement that was approved by this committee a couple years ago, the township was able to secure a local government access channel. That is Channel 22. That has been up and operational for the past couple of months. As with any local government access channel, it takes several months to work out all the details with respect to what will be broadcast and how it will be broadcast. The township clerk's office is working diligently on that, and I'm confident by the end of the year you will see a comprehensive approach to public notification of events on Channel 22. Again, please bear with us. We understand that Channel 22 at this point in time is limited in information, but we will be expanding upon that as we improve upon the channel. Some of the aspects of the channel we can control here from Barnegat. Other elements require the vendor to participate in the process, and whenever you outsource something, patience and understanding is always a virtue. Regardless, the township is committed to this channel. It's an important way to give out information to the township, especially during times of need, severe weather, or emergency. I'd like to get to the agenda now. On page 2 of the agenda, we have seven ordinances up for second reading, public hearing, and final approval tonight. On page 2, ordinance 2014-24 deals with an ordinance amending the code surrounding Meadow Park Advisory Commission.
This ordinance eliminates the commission and essentially recognizes the structure as any other public facility that is to be utilized for the benefit of the public. Ordinance 2014-25 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the code surrounding the dock. The purpose of this ordinance is to increase fees and recognize other details surrounding the operation of the dock. It is my understanding that fees with the dock have not been increased for roughly 20 years, and we need to reflect current day expenses. Ordinance 2014-26 is an ordinance which I would call a fee ordinance, which increases various fees that the township assesses individuals with respect to services rendered. These fees can be anything from recreation fees to those fees or charges assessed by the township clerk's office. Again, we are reflecting current day expenses and attempting to make these fees self-sufficient in nature. Ordinance 2014-27 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the code surrounding or dealing with the rent leveling board. We did have a rather detailed discussion on this at the last township committee meeting. Essentially what this ordinance does is eliminate the rent leveling board and places the burden of decision making with respect to issues surrounding rent of the 2 mobile home parks on 72 with the township administrator. As expressed at the last township committee meeting, the township has been experiencing difficulty with getting quorums of the rent leveling board. In addition, since I've been here since 2006, many residents of both Pinewood and Brighton have been coming to that microphone during public comment and expressing their concerns regarding quality of life issues at the mobile home parks. It is felt that the township will be in a stronger position to address those quality of life issues at the 2 mobile home parks if we make this modification to the way that rent leveling decisions are made at the 2 parks, Brighton and Pinewood. This past Friday, the township received correspondence from legal counsel from one of the mobile home parks indicating that though they support the ordinance and encourage the abolishing the rent leveling board, they do have some questions regarding the ordinance. Some of them are rather deal with items that are not material in nature, but others deal with policy. Since we received that letter on Friday, the township feels that we will give the legal counsel an opportunity to address their concerns to the township so we can make sure the ordinance is proper and correct. And we will do public hearing and second reading of that ordinance in December, and we will table it for this evening. I see many residents of Pinewood and Brighton in the crowd tonight. I have talked to a couple of them prior to the meeting. I have indicated that there's no stronger advocate for those 2 parks than this township committee and the township administrator. We fully stand behind the residents of Pinewood and Brighton and understand their concerns and appreciate the difficulties and challenges they face. And we've always demonstrated our willingness to work with them to resolve those concerns. And this ordinance is in that spirit that we want to continue to work with them to make sure we minimize the rent and maximize their quality of life. So again, ordinance 2014-27, I would ask the township committee to table tonight so we have an opportunity to discuss it with legal counsel from property management. But the township is committed to this ordinance, to moving it forward, again, to minimize rent increases and to maximize quality of life. On page 3 of the ordinance, page 3 of the agenda, ordinance 2014-28, second reading, public hearing, and final adoption, deals with towing. Even though towing is a private business, the state of New Jersey regulates it, and each township, each local government must establish the charges that towers can assess those individuals taking advantage of their services. Though government, for the most part, does not interfere with private business, in this particular case, If government did not participate in the process, most likely towers would assess inappropriate fees for services rendered. And again, this is a ordinance which regulates fees assessed by towers which reflect the best interest of the public. Ordinance 2014-29, second reading, public hearing, and final adoption is what I would consider to be a EIT, New Jersey EIT ordinance in the amount of $350,000. As a result of Superstorm Sandy, the state of New Jersey, through the DEP Environmental Infrastructure Trust Fund, has offered financing opportunities to those towns impacted by the storm. In this particular case, Township of Barnegat is looking for $350,000 to install an emergency generator at a well and pump station on Water Street. During Superstorm Sandy, between Barnegat and Ocean, we had over 50 emergency generators operating. Though we were successful in maintaining water and sewer service, the portable generators is not the best way to approach it, and we feel that a permanent emergency generator at this location will benefit the community. The New Jersey EIT offers a responsible way to finance these projects through either principal forgiveness, no interest, or low interest loans. In Waretown, where I happen to be the administrator also, we have been able to secure over $600,000 in principal forgiveness and over $2 million in no interest loans. Again, it reflects a responsible way to finance needed infrastructure improvements to our water and sewer system and minimizing the impact on our ratepayers. Ordinance 2014-30, second reading, public hearing, final adoption, is an ordinance requested by the Ocean County Prosecutor dealing with second-hand dealers, pawn shops, whatever you want to call them, those individuals who are engaged or happen to be suspect to substance abuse, oftentimes steal and rob personal belongings and sell them to second-hand dealers. This ordinance helps set up a records management or data system in order to track those purchases and sales to second-hand dealers in hopes of securing, in hopes of law enforcement being able to solve those crimes. Again, this ordinance is being adopted as a request of the Ocean County Prosecutor and will most likely result in a higher rate of successful solving of crimes. On page 4, we have 5 ordinances for first reading. Ordinance 2014-31 is an ordinance that authorizes a pilot agreement. Pilot stands for payment in lieu of taxes. Any property owner in Barnegat or any municipality in New Jersey pays property taxes to the municipality, county, and school. There are certain exceptions to that rule. One of the exceptions is a 100% affordable housing project. This deals with Barnegat Senior Apartments on Georgetown Boulevard and Route 9. Since it's 100% affordable, state law, and let me repeat that, state law requires the township to enter into a pilot agreement in which payment is made to the township based upon a calculation which reflects net revenue of the project. Ordinance 2014-32, first reading, is an ordinance dealing with cats. In a couple areas of Barnegat, we have issues with cats, feral cats, and this ordinance supports and encourages the concept or approach of TNR, trap, neuter, and release. Some residents feel a need to feed feral cats, however, do not take the necessary steps to minimize or reduce their reproduction, and as a result, the problem grows larger in nature. This ordinance establishes a TNR program, which is trap, neuter, and release. Ordinance 2014-34 is a bond ordinance for $1,210,000 for various water and sewer improvements. Those water and sewer improvements are as follows: $400,000 for sewer repair in Settlers Landing, $720,000 for repair, upkeep, improvement, upgrade of our 2 water tanks, in addition to $90,000 for 2 utility vehicles. As a result of this bond ordinance, our overall debt will still be less than it was in 2006. In 2006, our overall debt for water and sewer was roughly $11.4 million. Even with this bond ordinance, our overall debt will be $10.1 million. I will challenge any governmental entity, local, county, state, federal, that can say that their debt is less today than it was in 2006. Finally, ordinance 2014-35 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the land use code in Barnegat that will allow for a mixed-use development on Route 9, just north of Georgetown Plaza. This will be a mixed development consisting of roughly 34,000 square feet of commercial space and 180,000 luxury apartments. 180, excuse me. Just making sure you're paying attention. 180 luxury residential units that will be supported by clubhouse and pool. I do believe Deputy Mayor LaSala has fully explained that in his committee report. On page 6 of the agenda, Resolution 2014-554 is a shared service agreement between the Township of Barnegat and the Borough of Tuckerton for both fleet maintenance and snow services. As stated many times in this room, Barnegat has shared service agreements from exit 25 to 98 on the Parkway. We lead the state in meaningful and far-reaching shared service agreements. As a result of those agreements, they have an impact of roughly $1 million on the township budget, either through increasing revenue or decreasing expenses. The township will continue to look at shared service agreements that will have a favorable impact on the community. And that is it, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Can I have a motion to open the public comment, please?
Second.
We are open to the public. Can you come up to the microphone, identify your name and address, please?
Elizabeth Moreno, 183 Bay Shore Drive. What happened to ordinance 2014-33?
I will apologize, I skipped that, I don't have my glasses on. Ordinance 2014-33 for first reading is an ordinance dealing with smoking, which will prohibit smoking on or in public facilities, including all township buildings, recreational areas, sporting facilities, athletic fields. The only 2 exceptions will be the municipal dock and the beach, as stated at the last meeting. The majority of the committee, and they can speak for themselves tonight, have indicated that smoking at those 2 locations is not an issue or concern. If it does become an issue or concern, we will address it at a further date.
Who says it's not an issue or concern?
Township has not received any reports of problems, concerns, or issues. Again, as we stated at the last meeting, we feel that smoking at these 2 locations, individuals can exercise discretion, and we are confident that the individuals who are smoking will be able to modify their behavior accordingly.
That would
However,
be the first time in a very long
it's
time.
always the first time.
But the problem is, once I smell the smoke, I'll start wheezing.
Thank
So
you.
once it's there, I gotta leave. So I don't have time to even ask someone, please.
I would urge you to remember that I do believe the governor of the state of New Jersey has indicated that smoking on public beaches, he has not issued that mandate. I'm not aware of any public beaches in the state of New Jersey that smoking is prohibited.
There are some,
Okay, well,
but
again,
it's by municipality.
the township feels that at this point in time, smoking at these 2 locations do not pose an issue. However, if future events do occur, the township will reconsider. But the township feels that it's taken a proper and correct step in banning smoking at all other facilities.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Sir in the back? Good evening.
Good evening. John Frediani, 26 Creekview Road. I'm representing the girls softball league here in town. Okay, last time I was a little negative. Today I'm going to praise. I'd like to thank the township and the committee members, especially Martin Lasella, Dave Breeden, Elaine Taylor, and Al Billy, for the improvements to the Water Street field. After meeting with Dave, Elaine, and Martin to go over the improvements and the upkeep to the girls softball field, I am confident in our relationship and look forward to the improvements in our recreational program. It was a pleasure working with you in accomplishing these improvements. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sir? Front?
Hi, Ray Leschak, 116 Redwood Drive, Barnegat. On the rent leveling board thing, did we ever advertise that we need people for a quorum?
Numerous times.
Okay,
And when you're appointed to the board, you have an obligation to show up. If we have to tell you to show up, then I would question your commitment to the board. Correct?
yes, I know there was one time I did not get
No,
notice.
I'm not correcting at you, I'm correcting it at the majority of people who decided not to show up.
Yeah, there were a few that
Thank you.
consistently. Okay, on the procedure, if this is changed, now in the past, I went over the books of what they had to spend on utilities and repairs and pumping out septic. Who's gonna do that now? Will I still have access to that?
All those will be public documents subject to review. So if you request a review of all the documents submitted by property management with respect to the rent increase, you will have an opportunity to review them and discuss them in a public forum when we have a meeting to discuss or to cover the rent increase.
Okay, that meeting that you're
Yes.
gonna have to cover the rent increase, is it gonna be separate from a meeting like this?
Yes, it
Okay,
would be a meeting dedicated solely to the subject or matter of rent increase in either Pinewood or Brighton.
okay, and there's probably some other people here that might have it. And
Again, the purpose of the ordinance is we want to be fair to both the residents and property management and give them an opportunity to express their concerns in a proper and fair form.
okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir in the back?
Jerry Harper, 181 Bay Shore Drive. Excuse my speech.
Fine,
181 Bay Shore Drive in Barnegat. I'd like to also address the smoking ordinance problem. I realize that you've made a decision on this. The problem that I have is how does one approach correcting the problem in the event that there is a smoking problem there, which by the way there is. I have evidence of it, but that's the question I have to throw at the
Allocation of law enforcement resources is always an issue or concern with the township. However, the township has made it painfully clear to any resident that if they have an issue, problem, or item that needs addressing, to contact the police immediately, and they will, in their discretion, handle the situation. We have a police department that's accredited both at the state and national level. I have the utmost confidence in them that they will be able to address any concern expressed by a resident.
I understand, and I appreciate your comment on that. The difficulty is that if there is no ordinance and it's not against the law, it kind of puts a hand-tying process on the police department because they're in no position to enforce a non-existent law.
The police department is very capable of making recommendations to residents to resolve a conflict. Again, I have confidence in them that they will be able to address the situation.
I recognize your comment.
Thank you.
However, I believe you are leaving a door wide open.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am? That's you. Yep.
Diane Grockenberger, 108 Redwood Drive. I too have questions on this. I understand that you're tabling it, but I have a couple of questions and issues, and I obviously see the attorney from Pinewood Estates here, so I know that where it's going. My
No,
question
no,
is.
don't say that
No,
because,
no,
yeah.
no, but I mean, I know who
Look,
channel.
we're affording an
to take.
opportunity for everybody to partake in the process. Your opinion is just as valuable as
I understand.
legal counsel.
I understand. That's not my question. My question is, if it goes to you, before there was multiple people on there, if you're the deciding factor and we don't like the decision and it has to be appealed and it goes to the township, are you abstained from that?
As you know,
Or are you part of it?
I am the township administrator, the
Correct.
chief administrative officer. I don't have a vote. So if you disagree with my decision, either you or property management, it does go to the township committee, I will step down because that would be a conflict of interest. But again, please note, I don't vote. I'm the administrative officer for the township.
Right, but you're the one who's gonna be making the decisions on,
It's the same process as the rent leveling board. If you disagree with the rent leveling board, it went to the township committee. In this particular case, we are streamlining and simplifying the process. So if you disagree with my decision, it still goes to the township committee.
correct, but you weren't in at the rent leveling board. It was a completely separate set of eyes. That's my question. At this point, you are now gonna be part of the decision that goes through as well as the township committee. That's where my question for conflict is coming in. Because before it was completely impartial. What happened there was not done, was not discussed, the township, the committee, nobody was around into it. What happens now is you're part of the committee, whether you have a vote or not, you are still part of it. You're sitting right up there with them now. And if it is not, if it is challenged, if there is something that we don't like on either side, on their side or on our side, how does that affect your role into what's going on?
If I can answer that?
Sure.
Mr. Breeden will make the initial decision, but when it's appealed to this governing body, he will be permitted to explain the base for his decision, but the committee is obligated and will conduct their own independent review of his decision making in the process and can vote to support that decision, to overrule it, or to modify it. That's their obligation, and Mr. Breeden won't be entitled to participate in that, or certainly will not be entitled to have a vote in that. It will be a review of his ruling, so it will be an independent review.
Okay, then I have one more question. Now that this is being tabled and it's going through, there are some issues that the residents have been wanting to address. There are some things that are going on. Mine is they put in a CPI, the increase with the tax and stuff, and it wasn't sent out correctly to the residents. I mean, there are issues that are sitting on the table. So how long before those issues can go now that this is being tabled to you, to the problem?
I see it
how
as
long?
two issues. Number one, the issue regarding the ordinance,
Mhm.
wording of the ordinance, formatting of the ordinance, and number two, implementation of the ordinance with respect to proper public notification. I see them as two separate issues. Regardless, as always, we encourage you to reach out to the township and express your concerns, and we will do our best to address them, as we've always done in the past.
No. Well, I did.
Yeah.
I actually sent you a letter, so it's not
Yeah.
that I didn't let you know that it wasn't going on. But how long? I mean, there are things that they wanted to go through. Everybody's waiting for the rent leveling board meeting to come through now that it was tabled. My question is, what the issues that are standing right now, say this doesn't go until January, say it doesn't go until February, for whatever reason goes through. Are the issues that are now still valid, or are they gonna be ruled as, like, time passed and it can't be addressed?
The issues are still valid.
Okay.
I believe what her question is, and Mr. Starkey, maybe you can answer this, during this process, before the second reading is completed, does the rent leveling board still meet, or should they be bringing their issues to Mr. Breeden?
Thank you.
Well, I can tell you, I think the expectation is that this ordinance will be on at the next meeting for second reading.
Okay.
So in terms of the timing, that's what I think what the timing is being looked at. As far as who has the authority to act, you can certainly bring any issues of concern you have to Mr. Breeden. He won't have the formal authority to act until the ordinance is adopted and approved. I don't know if the rent leveling board is scheduled to meet. I would think that under the present circumstances, that you might be better off giving your issues to Mr. Breeden so that he's prepared when he's authorized by the adoption of the ordinance to undertake consideration of the issues.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Frank.
Frank Petrie, 11 Hemlock. I want to wish you all a great Thanksgiving, you and your family.
Thank you.
Marty, congratulations, and John, you're hiding back there, congratulations. And Lenny, like MacArthur said, I'll be back, so. Ordinance 2014-29. You explained it, David. The only problem I have with it is verbiage. Other related expenses. As long as it's not attorney fees, I don't have a problem with that.
Other
Okay?
related
I
expenses
mean,
are.
that was my business,
Well,
the water, okay?
okay, other related expenses is language or terminology consistent with New Jersey EIT, and it would include financial and legal consultation.
There should be none,
That's your
Okay.
opinion. Thank you. Okay.
okay? The ordinance 2014-34, again, that's $1,200,000. Of course, you get the same verbiage in there.
I'm
And
here, I'm
that,
bringing up this, I came here, how you doing? I'm sorry to bring it up.
The verbiage is consistent with bonds, covenants, and terms and conditions.
I understand that, but I want to, on the record, I don't want to see a bill for 14,000 or 100-some thousand where, and I'm not picking on attorneys, they don't know a sweep, they don't know a pump from, they don't belong. We have experts, we have a supervisor, a very good one.
Yes, we do.
That's what he's supposed to be doing. And he's supposed to be writing the specs, no attorney, him.
Be mindful, the state of New Jersey permits 20% of any bond ordinance to be allocated to professional services. That's the state of New Jersey.
Let's see. Oh, you also have, you mentioned in that $1.2 million about 2 trucks.
That's correct.
And yet you have a truck here on the agenda tonight.
That's correct.
Yet in your bond, if under other, you have some other vehicles in there. How many vehicles do we need, or were we replacing? It'd be nice to know. I count 4 now, 4 that I know
It is
now.
3. We are purchasing 1 vehicle off state contract tonight. And bond ordinance that's on the agenda for first reading will be acquiring 2 utility vehicles
Right.
next year.
And then the budget, under other, there was a vehicle in there. That's why I say,
It's 3 vehicles. 3 vehicles,
Okay.
3 four-wheel drive vehicles, utility-style vehicles capable of snow plowing, 4-wheel drive. It's 3.
Okay, I know we have to replace vehicles sometimes, but it seems like we're replacing vehicles. I look at that one truck that we have. You say they wash off the salt? I mean, that thing is coming apart, and it's only 4 years old. I'm talking,
4 years old?
rusting. About 4 years old, I think
Okay.
it is. If you look at the headlamp, it gives you usually the year. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. The last thing I'd like to mention is we talked about kids, we talked about fields. There's several things that trouble me a little bit. Years ago, we had that same problem, and it was with the girls softball, then it was with the Little League baseball. And you'll find out in every other community in New Jersey, I shouldn't say every because I don't know every, but I would say 90% of those people are running the programs, are citizens. They run the programs. And how do they raise the money? Every Saturday and Sunday down the bagel shop, it's either the football players, the basketball players, the cheerleaders, whatever. That's how money is raised for these children.
That's
okay?
right.
My problem, and I said it the last time, in our budget, when I see in our budget we talk about recreation, yet we're not appropriating that type of money to do what we're talking about you want to do. Okay? And don't forget, everybody does not play football, baseball, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, right? Music, arts, whatever. So you share the wealth, and it just can't be, it's for the kids. Everything is for the kids, okay? But there is a point of no return. There's certain things you can do. There's certain things you can do when you have a budget and when you have a recreation budget. There's certain monies that you should put aside to keep the parks. The gentleman that just got up here before, I remember him several weeks ago they were talking about what we should be doing as a municipality. And he said he couldn't even find the ball down at First Street because nobody cut the grass. That's the things that we got to take into consideration. How are we going to manage these fields that we have? How do we manage those? How are we keeping up? How are we keeping pace?
I agree,
That's what
Frank.
happens.
Maintenance is very difficult with the limited amount of public works we have. Your time has expired. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
Take a seat. Anyone else? Ma'am?
Hi, I'm Deb Levinson. I'm the coordinator of the Ocean Monmouth Health Alliance, and I'm addressing the smoking. Just to provide you with information, I was looking at the list of towns that have ordinances, and those that do have some at the beach already include Brick, Island Heights, I think Lacey, Long Beach, Island, Pine Beach, Seaside Heights, Seaside Park, which actually has it on their bay as well, Toms River, and Tuckerton. There may be some of them, other ones too, but just to provide you with that information.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Daniel Day, 200 Edison Road, Barnegat, New Jersey. In regards to the 180 apartments going in, we're looking all at 2-bedroom units, am I right?
Correct.
Okay, can we assume 1/3 of the 2-bedroom units will have one child going to school?
You cannot assume that.
Oh, you mean it won't be that prolific?
You cannot assume.
I mean, when you
cannot assume
when you
one-
open apartments, and they're 2-bedroom apartments, are you getting 2 sets of parents in a house? Or are you getting parents and one child?
You're making assumptions that may not have merit. With regards to our affordable housing project on Route 9, Laurel Oaks, has roughly 94 units, and I do believe the ratio of child per unit is less than one child per unit. So to make those assumptions.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm looking at is you take your rate right now of better than 12,000 a year to educate a child. If 1 out of 3 units has a child, okay, that's $12,000 just for the school.
That's
not
incorrect.
counting
That's
for road maintenance.
No, that's incorrect.
Not counting for police. It doesn't run 12,000 a year to educate a child in Barnegat Township.
No, excuse me, no, it doesn't.
13,500.
Because
okay.
It's after your base expense is met in business. Any additional, if the teacher's teaching 16 children instead of 15, that 16th child doesn't cost $13,000 once a base is established.
Okay.
And that's the problem with adding children to a classroom. They don't all cost $15,000 because you're still paying that teacher the same amount of money. There's a base break-even analysis with every business, and the school is nothing more than a business.
Well, see, what I'm looking at is, okay, my theory was, you have 3 apartments, you have 1 child going, that's all, which is 13,500 and some. Now, out of those 180, that's 60 units that'll have 60 children going there. This is what I'm surmising, 1 out of 3. Are we going to collect at least $4,000, $4,500 per unit just for the school taxes?
The tax that we collect from that property will be based upon the tax rate.
Right. But what I'm saying, okay, my question is, if the tax rate's not there, who's paying? I, as the retired homeowner that owns our house.
Again,
we're paying for these apartments coming in.
You didn't listen to Deputy Mayor LaSala. Deputy Mayor LaSala just said, just because you increase class size by 1 or 2 does not mean you increase the cost by $13,000 or $26,000.
Okay. Does the same thing apply to the police department?
The township,
because they have to patrol that.
That's correct.
Yeah, and that's going to cost more money.
Any increase in population, the cost driver for local government is population. As you increase population, the demands for services increase. But at the same time, you collect a certain amount of taxes. However, property owners, landowners in the state of New Jersey have certain rights to develop their property.
Right, that I understand. Every man has that right. But why don't you make more 1-bedroom units than all two-bedroom units?
Because in order
I
to
mean, let's
get,
go one-on-one.
in order to get the commercial of 33,000 square feet of commercial, we had to reach a consensus, and that consensus was allow them to have bedroom units. The township has heard the residents of this community say that we want more smart growth with respect to commercial development. We
Right.
want to keep
I'm in
Barnegat,
agreement.
we want to keep Barnegat dollars in Barnegat. We want to have jobs in Barnegat, and we want to have the convenience of going to local establishments within Barnegat. With that comes a certain amount of pain, if you want to consider it. In this particular case, it's mixed-use development. You either allow mixed-use development, or you have tax abatements, concessions, and givebacks.
But on the commercial part, we're not giving any tax breaks.
No,
They're paying full
negative,
taxes.
none.
Right, but why don't we turn around and only have, right, 2 one-bedroom units and 1 two-bedroom unit?
Because in
That
the-
eliminates your amount of children.
In the process of negotiations, the
See,
developer said,
I don't understand that. You're the ones that are in control. You're the township.
It's not marketable, and I don't wanna drive the developers away. When I say only one-room apartments, they say can't do it. They won't
But
be
these are
marketable.
luxury.
I'm sorry?
These are luxury apartments you keep advertising.
I understand, I'm not a developer, I'm telling you what the developers say.
Yeah.
And
So,
so
I mean,
there
people
has to
would
be
be-
some sort of
People
give
should
and,
be allowed to afford a luxury one-bedroom.
there has to be some sort of give and
Right.
take between the developer and the town to make a project work. It's not as simple as sitting there and folding your arms and saying, well, no,
Okay.
one-room apartments are nothing. Then it'll be nothing.
And the next one that comes in will want 3 bedrooms. You'll do 2 and 3-bedroom units.
The committee will deal with
And
that
yet
when
when
it
you
happens.
take us, at a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house in this township, we're paying $7,500 a year to maybe $12,000 in real estate taxes, but not the apartments.
You have
You
everyone
know,
to live in an
I'm
apartment, you
looking
pay
at what
less
it
taxes.
costs per unit. Okay,
The apartments are available to you too, sir.
I understand.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I got a question. Matthew Winnick, Edison Road, Barnegat. Ordinance 21425 with raising the fees at the dock. The dock master did a job at management. It's being mismanaged. If it was managed right, you would collect the monies instead of raising my fees and the Barnegat people. They lose half the money because the dock master's doing their job, but they're told by the head dock master with the threat of being fired, which he fires many people, you can see.
we don't talk about personnel here, so,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
I remember you, sir, from the other
Correct.
committee meeting and
Right.
our personal meeting.
And they
The
disregarded
issues-
whatever you said and
The
told them.
issues that you presented
Right.
were presented to the dock master and the other dock hands.
And he blew you off.
And they are, we're trying to monitor as best we can.
Another thing, I've been there, I've seen a municipal person go in there, which is, give him a break. He's commercial. Every boat he brings in, he don't pay.
A municipal official from Barnegat?
Yes, a volunteer.
I was gonna say, I'm not aware of any committee
And he
member
goes, he gets it
having
for
a
free, it
commercial
is for free.
fishing.
But he's a commercial guy. Every time he puts a boat in, it's free.
There's two
It's
issues.
mismanaged. The head guy, the guys are enforcing, but with the threat of being fired, they can't do their job and collect the money. Everybody from where town comes in, they don't pay the fee because he enforces them. It's an honor system. Honor, don't forget it. Put your wallet here, honor will be gone.
I remember your issues, sir.
Thank you.
Instead of raising my fees in Barnegat, if they collected the monies, you would have plenty of money. That's all I can say.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Motion to close to the public?
Second.
On to old business, ordinance 2014-24, second reading.
An ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 12B of the general code entitled Meadow Edge Parks Advisory Commission.
Motion to open to public comment?
Second.
Any public comment on this particular
Yeah, he
ordinance?
told me you were.
All right, motion to close?
Second.
Motion to adopt ordinance.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
I know, he told me. You already said.
Committeeman Morano? Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes, ordinance 2014-25, second reading.
An ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 43 of the general code entitled Dock Municipal.
Motion to open to public comment?
Second.
Okay. Any public comment for this particular ordinance? Motion to close to public comment?
Second.
Motion to adopt ordinance?
Second.
Roll call.
Cable's gonna be on cable.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Morano? Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes, ordinance 2014-26, second reading.
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 44A of the General Code entitled Fees Miscellaneous.
Motion to open to public comment?
So moved. Second.
Any public comment on this particular ordinance?
I go by the dock and Blackwell.
Motion to close?
So moved. Second.
Motion to adopt ordinance?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes. Ordinance 2014-27, second reading.
An ordinance.
Oh, that's tabled, isn't it?
Hold on.
We'll get there.
Lenny.
Okay.
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 64 of the General Code entitled Rent Leveling.
Mayor, I request that the Township Committee table this ordinance along with the public hearing until next month in order for the opportunity for the...
We need to have public hearing. It was advertised.
Okay, all right, we'll have public hearing. However, table voting on the ordinance until next month, until an opportunity for the township to address concerns raised by property management and/or residents of both mobile home parks.
Okay, before we have the committee's opinion on tabling, let's have a motion to open to public comment.
Second.
Any public comment on this particular ordinance which is going to be tabled? Motion to close?
No, I might have got it.
Second.
All right, can I have a motion to table the ordinance until next month?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes. Ordinance 2014-28, second reading.
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 68B of the General Code entitled Towing Businesses.
Motion to open to public comment.
So moved. Second.
Any public comment on this particular ordinance? Motion to close the public comment.
So moved. Second.
Motion to adopt ordinance.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes. Ordinance 2014-29, second reading.
An ordinance providing for the purchase and installation of an emergency backup generator and other related expenses in and for the Township of Barnegat and appropriating $350,000 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $350,000 in bonds or notes of the Township of Barnegat to finance the same.
Phew.
I know.
Motion to open to public comment.
So moved. Second.
Any comment by the public on ordinance 2014-29? All right, motion to close the public comment.
Second.
Motion to adopt ordinance.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes. Ordinance 2014-30, second reading.
An ordinance creating new Chapter 64B of the Township Code to be entitled Secondhand Dealers.
Motion to open to public comment.
So moved. Second.
Any comment from the public on this particular ordinance? All right, motion to close, public.
Second.
Motion to adopt ordinance with changes.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy? Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes. All right, approval of the minutes.
For the regular Township Committee meeting of October 20, 2014.
Motion to approve minutes.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes. Ordinance 2014-28, second reading. For some reason, I have that as a duplicative item, so I will move that. We have done that and have opened it to public comment. We have a kind of duplicative page, okay. My bad. All right, new business, ordinance 2014-31, first reading.
An ordinance provided payment in lieu of taxes pilot program for property known and designated as block 195.03 lot 12 in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 48:21-1 at sequel.
Motion to introduce ordinance.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes, ordinance 2014-32, first reading.
An ordinance amending and supplementing chapters 38A of the Barnegat General Code entitled Cats.
Motion to introduce ordinance.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKinney?
Yes, ordinance 2014-33, first reading.
An ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 64A of the Barnegat General Code entitled Smoking.
Motion to introduce ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes, and I'd like to say, I'd like to look into these other towns that adopted to go further with that and see if it applies to us down the road, but for now, yes.
Deputy Mayor, I'd ask you to, once you compile your findings, if you would please present individually to the other members of the committee so that they may have an opportunity to view as well.
All right.
And see if we need a rethink.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mayor McCabe.
Yes. Ordinance 2014-34, first reading.
An ordinance providing for various water and sewer utility improvements and related expenses in and for the township and appropriating $1,210,000 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $1,210,000 in bonds or notes of the Township of Barnegat to finance the same.
Motion to introduce ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno? Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Yes.
Mayor McCabe.
Yes. Ordinance 2014-35, first reading.
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 55 of Barnegat Township Land Use Code.
Motion to introduce ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno? Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Yes.
Mayor McCabe.
Yes. Formal action agenda, resolution 2014-442.
Resolution authorizing payment of bill list in the amount of $7,284,457.23.
Motion to adopt resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Yes.
Mayor McCabe.
Yes. Resolution 2014-443.
Resolution authorizing transfers within the 2014 municipal budget current fund.
Motion to adopt resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno? Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Yes.
Mayor McCabe.
Yes. Resolution 2014-444.
Resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation for Chapter 159 for 2014 NJDOT State Aid Settlers Landing East in the amount of $187,500.
Motion to adopt resolution. Have a motion?
Again, this is a state aid grant that the township received last year. The majority of work has been completed. We're simply inserting it into the budget for 2014 as a Chapter 159, which reflects insertion of revenue into the budget after adoption of the budget.
So moved.
Okay.
It's easier.
Second. Okay, motion, roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Yes.
Mayor McCabe.
Yes. Consent agenda.
The below listed items are considered to be routine by the Township of Barnegat and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no formal discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Motion to adopt consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno? Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Yes.
Mayor McCabe.
Yes, before I adjourn, I just want everyone to know that our beloved municipal clerk, Sharon Auer, has just completed her last committee meeting. She's excited. I'm sad. She'll be going off on an extended holiday, and then she will be retiring.
All right.
It's hard. You know, Sharon is absolutely the anchor for the township. She will be unreplaceable. We'll do the best we can. I hope you all wish her well as she enters the next and arguably best chapter of her life. Motion to adjourn. Let's get out of here. Got a motion. Second.